How's it going, folks? I'm Mark from Like Minded Lunatics.
I'm Ladi from Like Minded Lunatics.
And we're joined again with... Who is this?
David
Marino!
David Marino!
So David Marino has a show here in Austin. He's one of our good friends as well.
Yeah.
But his show, The Marino Show, is fantastic. Tell folks what The Marino Show is all about.
Yeah, I interview different horror actors, creatives in Austin. It's like a lot of horror movie based stuff because that's my favorite in the world. So, yep. And y'all have both been on the show, so yeah.
Multiple times. Love
Yeah.
the show. So hopefully folks will check that out. I'll put the links to all of your stuff, Facebook and
Thanks.
Instagram and all that down below. But today, David, we're going to do a Ladi's Rockucation. Ladi, why don't you tell folks what your Rockucation is all about?
A Ladi's Rockucation is something Mark invented for me because when we talked about music, I had no idea what he was ever talking about. So this is my way of being exposed to music that is just not my kind of music. But it's turned out to be really good. It's turned out to be a lot of fun.
I feel like you've learned a lot.
I have learned a lot, and I've actually grown to appreciate music that I would never have heard naturally on my own.
So I had several picked out, and I thought I'd let David pick. So David, what are we doing?
We are doing Cult of Personality by Living Colour from 1988. This is a really good one, and we think maybe you've heard it. It was really big.
Yeah, and even if you've heard it though, I know you've not seen the video, and I think you've probably never actually looked at the lyrics, and I think they're going to be fascinating to you. So you ready?
Yeah,
I don't
who
think
is
I've
it?
even looked at the lyrics.
Living Colour, spelled the UK way, C-O-L-O-U-R.
So is this from the TV show?
No, this predates them. No, this predates them.
Why was that a laugh?
There will be no fly girls in this, Ladi.
Okay.
There will be no fly girls in this. No, they actually predated it, and instead of Living Colour, this is just Living Colour, and they spell it the British way, C-O-L-O-U-R.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So are they a British
It's a
band?
fancier color.
Are they a British band?
No, they're not. I think they're from New York somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So here we go. Ladi's, I think you're going to like this. Living Colour, Cult of Personality.
And during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
The cult of personality.
What are you thinking so far?
I'm not. First, I'm going to ask this.
Yeah.
These people look black, right?
They are in fact...
Because I've never seen a metal band that is black.
There's a few. Seven Dust. We've looked at Seven Dust. We looked at LJ.
I remember him now.
Yep.
But I remember that we heard an acoustic version of his song.
We did, yeah. We compared it to the studio version as well. Not a lot. Not a lot of black guys.
At this time, I mean, this is when rap was really hitting big commercially with like LL Cool J and Salt and Pepper, and like, so what you saw in that community, Whitney Houston was
So
pop,
did they
but
get
they didn't
mad
see
at
metal.
Were they offended that they
No,
were?
did they get a backlash of any kind?
No, apparently what happened, so Corey Glover is the lead singer here. Corey has said that the fans, so that apparently they were huge in New York, but promoters didn't want to put them on because they were black and they didn't think that they would sell tickets. And so Corey Glover said that they had to gig like in clubs and smaller venues for years before they ever got their shot. And he said so that by the time this happened, he said, we were so well oiled as a machine that we were killing them. But the community apparently embraced it completely. Like, oh, these guys are amazing.
Well, what was their was their audience mostly the people who listened to metal bands,
Yes.
or was it was not the people who listened to rap, and hip hop and anything else?
No.
Okay.
This was played on the rock stations.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy. I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality.
All right, so he's singing about cult of personality. That term comes from Nikita Khrushchev's book on how to control a populace. So a cult of personality is what a fascist leader creates to control the populace. So look at the lyrics of this. So we start off with Malcolm X giving that, and during the few moments that we have left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language here that everybody here can easily understand. Now, sociologist Susan Jacoby, in one of her books, she writes about fascists and about how fascists create cult of personalities. And one of the things that she says that a fascist will do is use the language of just folks, right? So talk down. I'm just going to talk down to the people. A fascist leader will never use elevated language. They'll talk to the lowest base. And so we start this song with Malcolm X essentially saying, I'm going to talk down to earth, down to the folks, right? And then we have, look in my eyes, what do you see? It's a cult of personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you want to be. I'm the cult of personality. This song is scary in these time periods. Like, this is a very poppy song, but once we get into these
relevant today.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this.
Once we get to these lyrics, it's like, holy shit, are they singing about one person in particular?
This is considered poppy? Because this doesn't feel poppy. This feels heavy.
It kind of is, but it's more of a poppier rock song.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
I do, because it was really commercial. When it came out, it was all over MTV. I mean, I remember being played just on the regular pop stations. And it was a...
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, it was a hard rock song, but they exploded with this song. I mean, I think this is their biggest hit. It was,
and I would say there would be like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there would be like adult pop stations, and they would play Van Halen, they would play Madonna, they would play Prince, they would play Living Colour. Like, that would have been...
It would have been in that mix.
It would have been in that mix. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas, like, Metallica at this time is blowing up. They would not have been played on the same radio stations as Living Colour. No. Yeah. So, completely different. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, LML Ricky is going to be so pissed we're doing this without him. I'm going to go ahead and give him a call out, because Vernon Reed, the guitarist in here, is one of his heroes. So you've heard Rick play. Like, listen to Vernon.
I'm sorry, Ricky.
He loves Vernon.
Neon lights, Nobel Prize, when a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me, only you can set me free.
Oh God, that's a great verse, and I know you're not hearing the guitar, but Vernon's guitar is following Corey's voice.
Oh.
So there are moments where Corey goes high and the guitar comes up high to catch him. It's so great. So this verse is neon lights, a Nobel Prize. When a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You don't have to follow me, only you can set me free. It's about a fascist.
I'm surprised. So this was out in 90 what?
No,
88.
80 something?
It's 88.
But think about the power structure at that time period. You've got the moral majority riding high.
The power structure hasn't changed.
Nope. We've got the moral majority riding high. Reagan was leaving office as a hero. And we have George H.W. about to come into office. And these guys are singing about when a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. It's good,
so
right?
So how were they taken by people? Did people look at them like they did the Dixie Chicks and other people when they said something that was anti-politicians at the time? Because if you're saying that's what this is,
I kind of
feel
feel
look
like
at it the same way.
I kind of feel like this went over everybody's head.
I agree. I think that it was just too intellectual, and they were like, "This is a great song."
I think they were already thrown out. Well, no, think about it. Think about how extreme this is. Like, not only is it's a black group singing like hard rock,
yes,
but then they're also presenting this view. So I think maybe this is just me, and I was young when this came out, so I wouldn't have been thinking this way. Maybe it was too much to digest, that they were just focused on their look. I feel like a lot of what you heard about with them at the time was the bright color, like the look, the kind of over the top, because they were so different that...
First off, it's a black group with a lot of white groups. Corey Taylor is is just jacked. Or sorry, Corey Glover is just jacked. He's wearing that bodysuit, bodysuit, and then Vernon Reed's wearing those bright colors and playing like very virtuistic guitar. I agree. No one's listening to the lyrics.
Okay.
Even though the lyrics are just as amazing as the musicianship. Yeah. Yeah, we're about to get into the solo. So.
I'm the smiling face on your TV. I'm the cult of personality.
See, this is people talk about like songs, the evil in rock and roll. This is a song about straight up evil to me. I sell the things you need to be. I'm the smiling face on your TV. I'm the cult of personality. Like, forget demons and all that shit.
Oh no, this is about the evil of people.
This is evil. Straight up evil.
I exploit you, still you love me. I tell you 1 and 1 makes 3. Oh.
What happened?
The 1 and 1 makes 3. It just, it's like so of today where the politicians can tell you something, it's a complete, utter lie, like over the top, just flat out lie, and the base still believes.
Would you say this is alternative facts, David? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I've never paid it. I'm gonna be honest. I've never really paid this close attention to the lyrics of the song, and that just struck me like lightning.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say that the music is still loud for me. I've always said this, but the words make me want to listen to it because this is really. The writing is amazing.
It's good, isn't
They
it?
did a lot of work on this, and they just snuck it by people.
Yep. And I love that line. I exploit you, still you love me. I'm a cult of personality. It's scary, ain't it?
It is. It is.
Cult of personality. Like Joseph Stalin and Gandhi. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality.
So, question, and he's done this twice now. So he's comparing Joseph Stalin and Gandhi. Before he was comparing Kennedy and Mussolini, which you think of as evil, good. But what is he saying that they're both
the same?
The same, but in their what is it being said there? Because they're opposite, but they operate
the same way.
Is that
so? That would be my reading of it.
That's what I felt.
Is that cult of personality can be wielded for good or bad.
Or bad, right. Okay.
And so he's juxtaposing Stalin and Gandhi, although I would imagine that Glover would be cognizant of Gandhi's inherent kind of racism. Like when you read into his background, he was not all that fond of black
Well,
folks.
it almost sounds like he's not comparing even Kennedy or Gandhi in a positive light. It's more like they may appear to be one way, but really, they're just the same.
I think so
people.
too.
It's the same
That's
thing.
what I.
They're more palatable to you,
right?
But they're doing the same thing because they're getting away with all this other stuff.
They're packaged differently.
Yes.
They're getting away with everything that they get away with because of the same reason you love them.
Yep, I think that's it.
That's amazing. God, I never really paid attention to the lyrics.
So Vernon Reed has said in the first draft of this song that they did a comparison. I can't remember who the positive one, but they did one with Hitler and another one. And he said it was just too heavy and it took away from this. And they wanted something a little more subtle. And so they went with Stalin and Gandhi with Kennedy and Mussolini because he said, you mentioned Hitler, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no more nuance to it. But he said that these comparisons they made, he said were more nuanced than the one that obviously.
And I don't think it's even that they're nuanced. It's that everyone knows about Hitler.
Right. So
people historically, they don't know. They know Mussolini, they know Stalin. They don't know anything about what they did.
Right.
So it sneaks by. Like he did with the rest of the lyrics in here, which you...
Brilliant.
They really are. Yeah. They really are.
So Glover has said the reason that he chose this bodysuit like this was because he was fans of the X-Men. Made him feel like a Wolverine.
Ah,
He said, I got associated with these basically surfer bodysuits. He said, I only wore them because it made me feel like an X-Man. Which I always thought was
which is
really,
actually kind of nice.
really,
Makes
really
me like
endearing,
it.
right?
Yes, it does.
When a leader speaks, that leader dies. You won't have to follow me. Only you can set you free.
So I wish Ricky was, I'll back it up slightly. I wish Ricky was here to speak about this, but apparently Vernon Reid hated this solo. Not the solo itself, but his performance here.
Wow.
Apparently they were running late in the studio. He had done a number of takes, and he was pissed, and this was the version that they recorded. And the engineers loved it, and he was like, no, that's not the best, but they loved it. So it's always funny to me when an artist doesn't like his or her thing,
Yeah.
and other people are like, no, it's great.
It's really good.
This is my favorite verse. I'll back it up slightly. We're getting to the rising action, and boy, it's about to explode.
Can I ask you something else?
Yeah.
How was this received by the people who liked rap and the people who liked Whitney Houston? Did they pay attention to this at all, or was this just classified as metal and put over there in the group of stuff that they didn't listen to?
I honestly don't know. Maybe folks out there that can help us out with that, because I don't know. I know in the metal community, this was very well received. I was telling David, we saw them play live in San Antonio like maybe 6 years ago or something. And San Antonio is a very metal city.
It is.
They love them. Like, from every swath of demographic, oh boy, everyone... And they killed it. So I know that community loved them.
Well, see, because I know just from speaking about my dad, whenever a Latino person was accepted or did something that was kind of considered more mainstream or that played to a white audience, he was always very happy that what he felt was his voice was being exposed to people who would never listen to it otherwise. So I'm just wondering if that was the same case here.
Gosh,
if they thought, because these lyrics are really biting. And I'm just wondering if they heard the music and did not pay attention to it, or if they knew what they were singing about too and were like, finally someone's saying something like this.
I honestly don't know.
I don't either. I was so young when I was like middle school when this came out.
Yeah.
So I just listened to the beat and I liked it. But I don't even remember, like, I mean, now as adults you recognize, oh, these are black artists that are in a world that is, they're mostly white artists in the hard rock community or metal. But I don't even remember that being an issue at that time. I think people just, they were very well received, and MTV played this video all
the time.
Is that right?
It was
all the time.
I mean,
it was, you'd hear Madonna, Michael Jackson, this would come on. I mean, it was up there with all the big songs of the time. It just played with everything.
Gigantic song.
Yeah.
Really big. Yeah, I really don't know, Ladi. I wish I did, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm just curious.
You gave me fortune. You gave me fire. You gave me power in your God's name. I'm every person you need to be. Oh.
What do you think of that verse?
God.
You gave me fortune, you gave me fame, you gave me power in your God's name. I'm every person you need to be. God, that's awesome.
It is.
Terrifying.
It's so angry, but it's a righteous anger? Does that make sense?
It's weird because it's actually from the POV of the fascist. So they're not singing a song condemning it. They're singing a song from the POV of the fascist.
So the personality that is singing it is just giving you information. But the writers who wrote this, they're mad.
Yes.
Well, they're making a statement, but what's funny is, like you said, it's like that's the leader that's singing like, I got you. I got you.
I got you.
And you're so stupid that I have the power and you fed into it.
I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue.
Yep.
It hasn't changed.
That's sad. Almost 30 years later, and it hasn't changed.
To me, Ladi, this reminds me of Sad But True. We reacted to Metallica's Sad But True.
Yes.
And that last verse, if you remember right, the first verses are about like depression, like being there for the person, but depression is talking to the person. And then the last verse is hate. I'm your hate. I'm your hate when you want love. Like at the end, there's the turn, and they're betrayed. And this is the turn. You gave me fortune, you gave me fame, you gave it to me in your God's name. They've won so handily.
I'm your fault.
Right.
I'm your fault.
They've won so handily. They can tell you outright, I fucked you.
Country can do for you. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
And then she turns it off. Oh, isn't that powerful?
I'm just going to say this. When you said Living Color, I just thought I was going to be happier because all I could think about was the show. And this is not a happy song.
In Living Color, but you can do what you want to do. In Living Color. That was a happy song.
It was a very happy song. So are these people...
Fly Girls.
Are they still around?
He just said he went and saw... I didn't know either if they were still...
Yes, and Glover's voice still sounds amazing. Vernon Reid is on stage destroying it. Yeah, these dudes are in their mid-60s, I think, at this point.
Oh, my God.
They're killing it. Yeah. But I thought you would enjoy this one. This is not a sad one. I mean, it's not happy per se.
It's not sad. It's not happy, but it's an angry song. And again, I go back to where I say the music is noisy for me. It's just me. But reading the lyrics, it's really amazing to me all the thought, stuff. Everything that went into this, because that's work.
Yeah, from a writing perspective.
That is absolute sweat and tears getting all this out the way they wanted to.
Yes. And you had heard this, but you had never really...
I never listened to the lyrics.
What are your thoughts after hearing it and diving into it?
I think it's, it just keeps standing in my... kind of making me think about how no matter how things change, they still stay the same because humans are humans. And so this can just be dropped right into 2023. And it's so eye-opening because for all the things that have progressed in our, society, you go back and it's like you take a step forward and it's kind of like as humans, we take steps back also. It's not just this straight line moving ahead. And this is more relevant than ever right now.
Especially with social media and stuff like that.
This could totally talk about social. All the people that are on there telling you need to look like me, you need to be this, and everybody's falling for it.
I'm the smiling face on your TV.
Yeah.
Every time I hear a politician speak, from a particular standpoint, I always think about that line, you gave me power in your God's name.
I feel like this
is so...
I feel like this was also a David education.
Was it?
Yes, because this is amazing. Like, I'm going to go and listen to this song just again and read through these lyrics. Like, I have never read the lyrics like this, and I'm just amazed that that's what this song is about. And it just, even with me, it kind of makes me feel like at that time, being a young person, I was caught up too in that, it's a black artist that's doing, because we were so not used to and when we grew up at that time, and we're all a product of our time, late 80s. Even as a Hispanic, you didn't see a lot of Hispanic mainstream. You had Gloria Estefan,
right?
But you didn't see even if a Hispanic had done a hard rock thing, it would have been different too. But seeing like that, I think that's what everybody was so enthralled with, like, oh my God, a black artist can do heavy metal. And then Janet does it and nobody cares. But like, it kind of like points back to your own sort of prejudices at the time, not paying attention. And I was young, but still, you weren't paying attention to the words.
Yeah, and they're really powerful. And like Ladi said, so well written.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That crescendo at the end when Corey Glover is, I'm the cult.
He's being like the leader. Like, yeah.
Yes, it sounds fascistic. It sounds like I'm rallying the troops.
Yeah.
Well, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'm so glad that y'all enjoyed this one.
I did enjoy this.
Let us know in the comments what you think. If you've got insight into how Living Color was accepted across other genres, we don't have it. So let us know in the comments what you think about that. Check out David Marino's show. All the links are below in the description. And check out all the Ladi's Rockucations. We've done a lot of them.
I learned a lot of stuff.
All right, folks. Well, take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.
Adios.
Bye.
You gave me